All praises and adoration belongs to Almighty God, the Lord of incomparable and inexhaustive majesty. We ask Him to shower His blessing and His mercy on His prophet, Muhammad Sallallahu His house and His companion, and everyone that followed the virtue of His teaching to the day of reckoning. Today we shall be discussing a very vital topic, and I'm still same person, Hassan Abiodun. Today we'll be looking at faith and its sweetness. Faith. What does faith implies? It means believe. What you are convincingly believe in is your faith. And this faith we're talking about is something metaphysical. It's not feasible. It's not concrete. It's something that is so spiritual to the extent that his abode is human soul. Faith resides within the soul because its sources, its fountain is from Almighty God. So it's because it emanated from Almighty God. We need to know that faith has something to do with God, with heaven. It's a connection between man and his creator. It's a connection between man and the heaven. Faith. And this faith in question, it can increase and can also reduce. Faith increase with knowledge. When you have the knowledge of what you know about God, knowledge about God, His feature, His nature, His power, His ability, His magnanimity, His greatness, you are convinced that God is the greatest. It's a knowledge that will propel you to know that you require faith to stand by God. To use God as a backbone. It's the faith that you need, is knowledge. The second one that make your faith firm is conviction. Conviction. It's when you're convinced about the faith in question. That is when you get to have the clear eye-opener, the clear vision, clarity about who you are dealing with. But if the conviction is not there, the faith is not going to increase. The third one is action. Action needed to be taken for your faith to be meaningful, for your faith to rise. That is why Almighty God told us in the Quran that in it said those that have faith and take action uphold righteousness. Action in terms of things that can make the faith pragmatically workable for you is what you need to do. You must be righteous, uphold righteous acts, such as avoiding all avoidables and doing all doable. So after you understand that you need knowledge, conviction, and action for your faith to increase, the same thing, faith can also reduce. And it is when you have the opposite of aforementioned that your faith reduces. When the knowledge is not there, when the conviction is not there, and you don't take action. You don't expect God to do things that you ought to do for you. He will never do it. And this faith we're talking about is something that has its roots cause from above, from the Almighty, is the one that reveal His greatness to you. When you have the required features and quality in you, then God will reveal Himself to you, then you are convinced about Him, then that propel you and that give you the standing you require to have. With your faith, you can move a mountain. With your faith, you can shift all unshiftable. So faith is so paramount. Faith is so essential. And this faith that we're talking about, you should not misconstrue it. Most of us today, we misconstrue faith. We misunderstand what the faith is. You are supposed to work. You are a graduate, you finish university, there's no job, you say God will do it. God will not do it for you, will not fix it. You must go out to work. You are married, you don't have a child, go for medical checkup. Know what's wrong with you. Know the medical challenges you are having with your wife. You are having sickness. You believe with faith, you'll be healed. Do the needful, then rely on Almighty God. Do the needful and rely on Almighty God. And how do you have the sweetness of faith? The third thing that will make you and I to have the sweetness of faith, number one, is to love. When you love anything, you love it only for the sake of Almighty God. You love things for God alone. You don't love things for loving sake. If you love money, you love money for the sake of God. You love your wife, your children, your neighbor, your country, your friends. You love them because God asks you to love them. If you attach your love, you attach your what we call affection to anything, and this affection is not connected to Almighty God, then you don't have faith. The faith should stand on the love for the sake of Almighty God. And number two is you must hate. You hate anything, you detest anything for the sake of Almighty God. You hate because God asks you to hate. Why do you hate alcohol? Why do you hate fornication? Why do you hate stealing? Why do you hate telling lies? You hate it because God has to hate it. That is when you have to hate it. Then that gives your faith meaning. And the last is, you should not go back to what will put you under the rancor and punishment of Almighty God. After He has guided you, He has put you on the path, on the straight path. He has shown you the way. You have been righteous. You should not go back to things that will now change the course of your life to the point that you will not become an enemy to Almighty God. You should be upright. Upright with your faith. You should be firm with your faith. You should be unshakable. That is when the faith work for you in your life. We pray to Almighty God to accept this little we've said and make you and I a faithful individual, both in this life and the life to come.